All right, my friends, welcome to episode 83 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am King Boo, and over there is Bowser Jr., and I've been playing too much Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I am the Professor Larry, and that is Anthony. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr. is rad. He's my favorite new character.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not a fan?
Oh, I've never been that in love with Bowser Jr.
You can be Inkling Girl or Inkling Boy.
There you go.
Or Dry Bones. Maybe Dry Bones.
Dry Bones would be pretty fun.
You seem like a Dry Bones kind of guy.
There you go.
I'll
so
definitely...
your mind's all in Mario Kart, it seems.
All up in... I got it yesterday. I was one of the lucky ones, apparently, who got their Amazon order on time, which never happens with their stupid Amazon logistics delivery system. Is really dumb. Their logistics drivers and system is really bad. Just send it via post office. Come on, guys. But apparently a lot of people got delayed to like next week.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually did see a couple people. Weird. Always Nintendo stuff, too.
It always. And it just, it's costing Amazon a lot of money because people are getting like $10, $20 credits and free Prime.
Yeah.
And, they're promising release day delivery. So, I don't know. Is Wolf with Nintendo products pretty much the Switch for me. This one came on time. It usually doesn't. So, but a lot of people are experiencing this. So it makes me think maybe I shouldn't get Nintendo products through Amazon if you want them on day of,
Yeah, I've been kind of confused with that for years. But I had a friend who had an issue getting Persona 5, so...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like it took him... There was clearly something happened in a warehouse down in California. And it took like 3 or 4 extra days to get it.
Sure.
Not from... They didn't order it release day, but...
Yeah. I see
something happened.
You're blaming California for this, I see.
I am.
I guess you're a native Californian. You can do that if you want.
It's true.
Even though you abandoned us for the
long ago
rainy state.
Take my rain.
What is the nickname of Washington? But
the Evergreen State.
Is it Evergreen? Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Even though that's only about a third of the state.
Yeah, they just forget about Eastern Washington.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, Eastern Washington. All right, so this episode we're going to talk about some 8 and 16-bit collections we want to see, a bunch of Nintendo news, some PS4 news, and then the games that we are playing. But we're going to start with this news about Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 was rated in Korea. This is from Gamatsu, and it sounds like it's going to include Mega Man 7, 8, 9, and 10, which was a Super Nintendo, then a PS1, and then Wii, 360, PS3 games. So
kind of continuation of that, the main Mega Man line.
Exactly. So it kind of rounds out. When the collection came out before, people were thinking, why didn't you put 6 or 7, 8, 9, and 10 in this too? But this is why, I guess. I am curious if it's going to be the same price because it's 4 games as opposed to the last one had 6. So we'll see, I guess. But
how much was the last one?
I think it was $25, something like that.
I bet it will be the same.
Yeah, it probably will be. The Disney collection that came out was 6 games for $20. And it just made me think, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. Apparently, I'm going to buy all of these because these are the games I grew up with. Not so much 7, 8, 9, and 10, but the older Mega Mans for sure.
Yeah.
And then it made me think, what else would we want to see in collections? Like going through the Nintendo catalog and then the Super Nintendo catalog, probably. So I'll go first. One thing that I'd want to see from the Nintendo is a Ninja Turtles collection.
Oh.
Including that weird first game. That really hard.
That was really weird.
Really weird. Hard.
It was really hard and impossible.
You get to that sewer
Did
section.
you ever watch the video that showed the jump you have to make?
No, but I'm going to after this.
There's a video talking about how hard that game was, and then there's a specific jump that's nearly impossible.
And then that's if you die, you
that's
go
where
most people.
Right? Yeah, most people never made it past that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the speeder bikes and Battletoads.
Yeah,
but it just giving those old Nintendo games that were hard for a reason, for replay value or to increase the how long you had with the game or whatever. To have those repackaged with a rewind button, like just playing through the Disney Afternoon Collection is just like, this is awesome. It just streamlines your experience. So that's one thing I'd want to see. The Ninja Turtles 2 and 3, the side-scrolling beat 'em ups are the particular ones that I would like. And why not throw in Turtles in Time there and just put them all together?
Yeah, I'd pick that one up. That'd be a fun one.
That'd be awesome, especially if you could do like online co-op or something. What about you?
One that... So I was like, well, a lot of things have been collected already, but a weird one that I'd kind of want was a LucasArts collection for the SNES.
Ah, okay.
Which is all the Super Star Wars games,
Mm-hmm.
which are actually really good side scrollers.
Are those the ones that were re-released for the PS4 last year or year before?
Potentially.
Okay.
Were they? Did they get re-released?
There was, I don't know which ones there were. You like Return of the Jedi, The Empire Strikes Back, those ones? Super Star Wars?
Yeah. Did I completely miss that they re-released those?
There were 4 Super Nintendo games that were re-released for the PS4 to coincide with Battlefront, and I don't remember which ones they were.
They were probably these. Okay, they've been collected. Maybe? Or did you have to buy them separately?
They were like a pre-order bonus, and then you could eventually get the code separately.
A pre-order. Okay, that's probably why I didn't pay attention, because there's a pre-order bonus originally.
Right.
But there was that, plus Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh my god, that game was amazing.
Which is a LucasArts published on Super Nintendo, and then there was Indiana Jones Adventures game. So put the Star Wars games together, Zombie Ate My Neighbors and Indy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a fun eclectic bundle.
Awesome. I'd play that.
But yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I was surprised that was LucasArts.
I didn't even know that until now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That game was so fun. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Star Wars was released November 17th, 2015.
All right.
So you can pick it up now for $9.99. But to, up-resed or packaged kind of like these new ones would be what we're looking at. Other thing for Nintendo that I'd like to see is a Castlevania collection.
You stole mine.
Oh, sorry, man.
But we can talk about this, because I was actually trying to break this one down.
What you'd put in there?
Because there's a lot of Castlevanias.
Yeah, so, the way that they package these, I guess ideally it would be all of them in one, as opposed to splitting up like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, GBA, whatever.
I was thinking Nintendo and Super Nintendo together.
Right.
So 1 through 4, and then X.
Right.
As like one thing. And then potentially putting the GBA ones together, and then the 3DS ones together.
Into one package.
Yeah.
And those are the ones, I loved 3 as a kid, and I loved Castlevania 4, but the ones on the GBA were my favorites.
Yeah. I remember I played a bunch of Aria of Sorrow on the GBA, and then Dawn of Sorrow on those two, which made the switch between GBA and DS.
I'm pretty sure that Aria of Sorrow is the reason why I busted open my GBA and soldered in a light for the back of the screen so that I could actually see the game.
That's true. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I actually had my GBA out recently. Actually, I have it in my drawer right here. I found it, and I turned it on. It still had power.
Without charging
it? Yeah, I didn't mean it didn't have a lot. It's holy crap, I need batteries. Because it doesn't charge. It needs batteries.
Right. It's like 2 AA's or something, I think.
But I found Aria of Star. I stuck it in, and then I was like, oh yeah, this doesn't have a backlit screen.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm like, how did I ever play on this?
Did they eventually release ones that had them inside, like the?
No.
Never. Okay. Because we had the mod ours, Travis and I.
Yes, there's a mod that people would mod them and put. You'd put the lights around the edge, basically, because it's a reflective LCD, so you need to put light above it slightly.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we had to pull it apart and stick it behind it and put it back together, which was a fun project. And I got mine to work. I could never get Travis's to work. So, sorry, man. So yeah, Castlevania I'd love to see. I definitely want to see those GBA games. They're on the Wii U Virtual Console. But, having them, I don't know, repackaged again like we've been talking about. Other thing, I know this will never happen, but I'd like to see all the Zeldas kind of put together one nice package. But
nope.
Yeah, I know that's not happening.
I thought about that one. I thought about that, like a Donkey Kong collection.
Mm-hmm.
That won't happen. Nintendo doesn't seem to want to do collections so much.
Except for Mario All-Stars.
Yeah,
I guess they did a Kirby collection too.
Did they?
Yeah,
right.
It was like, I forget what it was called. Kirby All-Stars or something like that, and it had like 4 games for the Wii.
It's been a while though. They don't really. I feel like they realize that each game sells just enough separately, so why bundle?
So I guess
I'm hoping that the Final Fantasy collection actually happens.
Right.
And I was thinking a Dragon Quest bundle.
Mm-hmm. I never played any of those games as a kid, but you did, I assume.
I played. So I didn't play a lot of them, but I definitely played Dragon Warriors 1 and 2. I have a lot of nostalgia back for those games on NES. But I haven't played any of the newer ones. Even though I have friends that are super obsessed with the latest Dragon Quests.
Yeah.
So, but they said that there are a lot of grinding.
Well, that new Dragon Quest Heroes 2 just came out of nowhere. I didn't even realize it was coming out on the PS4 or whatever. I think some people would like to see... oh, shoot. It was just in my... Oh, Double Dragon. Like a Double Dragon collection. 1, 2, 3, and then Battletoads and the Dragon, probably. But I never really got into those games.
Yeah, I could totally see that, though. That'd be a fun one. How many... One I'm just thinking of. How many Final Fights were there?
I think there were 3.
3?
Let's see here.
Final Fight. Like, I feel like beat 'em up bundles.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, there was 3.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking about for the Super Nintendo. We can kind of pivot over there. Like a Final Fight bundle would be cool. I think you're right. Maybe expand it to be like a beat 'em up, and then have like an RPG bundle, like Illusion of Gaia, maybe Harvest Moon. Not exactly it's like a sim, but Earthbound. That's not going to happen.
No.
Chrono Trigger.
Square Enix could put together a good best of SNES bundle,
right?
With the more acclaimed Final Fantasies in there, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana.
Yep.
They could do a lot, but I kind of don't feel like they will.
No, I don't think so either, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of the stuff I think about for Super Nintendo are the things that are Nintendo games, and that those things aren't going to happen. But maybe like Contra, maybe a Contra collection. These are not games that I had a great time with, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something that has just a collection of the Super Nintendo RPGs is kind of what I want to see. Breath of Fire.
Yeah.
Illusion of Gaia.
Oh yeah.
Secret of Mana. Yeah. That would be pretty good. And then, of course, I want the Super Nintendo Disney collection. I want Aladdin. I want Lion King. I want Goof Troop.
That's
I just
true.
really want Goof Troop. I should just emulate it. I should just do it. So
that's true. You have the controller now and everything, so probably pretty good on emulation.
Yeah, I bet it is. I should check it out. So those are kind of things that I'd want to see. And I think realistically the things we will see is the Mega Man X collection, which I know we both want.
Definitely. It's clear Capcom is going in that direction. So how long was it between these 2 Mega Man collections?
A year and a half. So
check in a year and a half from now. I bet we'll have an X collection announced. That's my thought, at least.
No, I think you're absolutely right. We're gonna see it, which is good because I actually never played anything beyond Mega Man X.
I definitely played X2.
Mm-hmm.
It progressively got a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So I remember X not being the hardest Mega Man.
I think
it might be good for me as a kid because I actually was able to make my way through it without a lot of pain.
Right. I'm thinking that there were 7 X's, maybe? Mega Man X6 or 7? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I have the internet here. Let's see.
Yeah. For some reason, I
definitely fell away from it at one point.
Maybe a Tecmo bundle with the football game and the Tecmo wrestling.
Oh yeah, there's X8. That was
X8?
a PlayStation 2 game.
Holy hell! Yeah, that's what I thought. They kind of went on and on. I was out of gaming at that point. So
X4 was PlayStation. So X3, X2, and X3 were all Super Nintendo, and X3 came to Saturn and PlayStation, and then they just went to PlayStation after that. X4, X5. 6 was PlayStation, 7 was PlayStation, and then 8 was PlayStation 2. And then, they did a collection, Mega Man X Collection, for the PlayStation 2. And it was only released in North America.
And that included X 1 through 8?
Yes, 1 through 6.
Okay, so they've already entered that territory then?
They have, and it's on 2. Interesting. Yeah, they definitely should. That was in 2006, so 11 years ago. That was for the GameCube as well. That's cool.
Okay, so then that's coming. It's got to be coming.
Yeah, they've done this work before.
Yeah.
So
they know we will buy them. Just to have all the games in one place. since I just got rid of my Xbox, kind of thinking about like having, I've lost some of those games, so having them all in one place would be really nice. Although it was kind of nice to walk away from your backlog. I think I had like 200 games on it, via various means. And I realized that I could get them again. Like eventually I can get like an Xbox One S for super cheap, either this Black Friday or next Black Friday or whatever. So I'm not losing out on them permanently. But I haven't played my Xbox in a long time, and I turned it on, and like there was a new update, and like all the things have changed on the home screen again, and I was just like, all right, I'm done for now. So I traded that in plus my PS4, which was spitting discs all over the place, put back in the old hard drive and a couple of games, and I traded in for a PS4 Pro, and it's kind of nice to have one console where everything is. I don't know, it's kind of nice to downsize a little bit.
You increased your PS4 stack by 1.
I did. It's nice. It's sleek looking. And it's just really quickly. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend the upgrade to you without a 4K TV, and also even if you did have one, unless there was something going wrong with your PS4 and you need to upgrade, I don't know if I'd recommend it. But because there was something wrong with mine, and I ended up paying $60 total for it. Things load faster, noticeably faster. And I don't know if I notice Horizon Zero Dawn looking too much better. I guess I need to see them side by side. It looks good, but it looked good before, so I'm not sure how much of an upgrade it is. But I can tell the difference in Last of Us. Last of Us looks a lot better. So there are definitely improvements. Older games, and I've just been messing around, checking them out, and they look better, but the load times, it's the thing that I noticed. It loads much, much quicker. The apps, the internet, the store, everything loads quicker.
Okay. A little jealous.
It's a fun little thing, but I don't know if it's unless you can get it for cheap, I don't know if it's worth the money for.
I don't have a 4K TV, and that's not happening anytime soon. So.
Yeah, so there's no point.
There's not. Yeah.
Speaking of no point, unless you have something else to say there.
No, this is a good transition for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Nintendo of America on the 27th, which was a couple days ago, made an announcement via Twitter. They are introducing the new Nintendo 2DS XL, which comes out July 28th at a suggested retail price of $150. And this thing looks sleek as hell.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I might trade in my 3DS XL.
Yeah.
If I can get a good price on it for this thing. Because it looks way cooler.
Yep.
I don't care about the 3D features.
Nope.
Haven't turned that on in years. And it's I don't have a new 3DS.
Right.
So I would do I need it? No. It does seem like a pointless thing in some ways, but I was still kind of like, oh, I don't mind having that.
I was thinking the exact same thing, because right now, at GameStop, for example, you can trade in a certain number of things for $200 toward a Switch. And I know that when this thing comes out, they'll say trade in your 3DS. I don't know what they would give you, $75, $100 toward this thing. But if it was in the $100 range, I would trade in my 3DS in a heartbeat and get the new one.
Yeah, it looks cool. Actually, I think this is likely the last 3DS.
Yeah.
Or call it 2DS now. They put all the acronyms together.
Right.
But I think this is the last one. Kind of like they did with the GBA, had that clamshell GBA right at the end.
Right.
And it's just kind of the last hurrah.
Right. Well, and it signals to people with the DS library, 3DS library, that they're still focusing on that.
Yeah, I still give it a couple years, at least probably 2 years of support. As they transition away from it to the Switch completely.
And they're different enough. I know people are saying, well, they're both handhelds, but I think the development cycle for them are different enough. It's low resolution games, but also dual screen stuff, which is not happening with the Switch. It is different enough that I think they can both be supported. Of course, I'd like to see more stuff on the Switch, but 3DS is still.
And I think you will for the most part.
Yeah.
I think you'll see the big announcements will be the Switch, and then the 3DS will just be finishing up its library.
Yeah, and
most big things have already been announced for it, and that will just take some time to finish up releases. And I mean, they're not doing the big E3 thing, but I'm sure we'll see a little bit of a couple new games announced at E3 for it.
Yeah, and I think it's a good platform for kind of the weird games, like that Hey Pikmin game looks cool, but it's kind of weird. and Fire Emblem Echoes is weird. Like it's a weird choice. So it's
a lot cheaper to develop for.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and you can take those risks. You know.
Yeah. So, and it has a good install base. So.
Yeah, really, really good one.
So, it makes sense to me from a development standpoint and kind of business standpoint why they would do one last one.
Yeah, and I'm with you in terms of when I first saw it, I thought, why? And then I thought, I kind of want that. And I thought, I would probably trade in my 3DS for So, yeah, because it's going to be faster. It's the faster processor. Yep. And then it has the C-stick and then the extra LMR buttons. I wonder if... So the stuff that is new 3DS only, like the Super Nintendo library, like the Xenoblade Chronicles, does that mean they'll play on this system then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
they'll do any of the new 3DS stuff. The only thing this doesn't have is the 3D, the power to do the 3D screen,
which is fine. I almost never use that.
Yeah. And most games I play now don't even allow it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like Pokemon Sun and Moon disables it. Like you cannot play that in 3D. They just won't let you. Monster Hunter Generations doesn't allow it because it's using so much processing power.
Right.
To render more polygons that they got a wave from Nintendo to say no, you don't have to allow 3D. So.
And I wonder, and this is probably not going to happen, but I'm thinking because of the time that this is going to release, if they're going to make an announcement at E3 about the ability to just log in with your Nintendo ID or whatever, and then your games are attached to it, because I want to trade in my 3DS for this thing, but I have to transfer my data from the 3DS to the 2DS. So how do I trade it in and then still transfer my stuff over?
That's true.
That's what's kept me from trading in before. So I'm hoping there's some sort of announcement at E3 where I can just buy this, and then because my ID is attached to my 3DS games, that I can just download them. That seems like pie in the sky, but I don't know.
It might. We'll see. I haven't thought of that. I only have one game that I've actually bought through the eShop.
Really?
Yeah. Most of them I have physical.
Okay, well that makes it a hell of a lot easier.
But the one is Bravely Default.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I would like to not lose that. So
yeah. That's why I'm hoping that they will say something, because the trade-in is pretty much impossible unless you have them at the same time.
You're just cool with
losing
saying goodbye to those games.
Yeah, which I'm not. I have, I was okay saying goodbye to the Xbox games because I can get them eventually, but if I trade this in, I can't get them eventually at this point. So the one thing I thought was funny about the ad, that 2-minute ad that came out when they announced this, at the 16-second mark, it says new ergonomic folding design. There is nothing ergonomic about the 3DS, this 2DS, the Switch. They're not ergonomic. I don't know if they know what that word means.
No, they're using it wrong a lot.
Yeah, it's just a flat piece of plastic. Like, it does not feel. I got like the grips for the 3DS. It makes it feel a lot better.
Yeah.
What do you think about the color? Black on blue, or blue on black? I mean,
there's blue on black. There's actually been a couple different ones in Japan.
Yeah, Japan.
But they always do that with 2DS colors. Japan gets they get a white and a white one that has orange.
Yeah.
And they're getting an exclusive Dragon Quest one.
Right.
That has like deformed like a little blob coming up.
On the front cover thing, right?
Front cover thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the black and blue though.
Yeah, I really do too. I would kind of like the white and blue, but then I'd probably get that too dirty. So the black and blue is fine. Yeah, the more that I look at it, I'm probably going to get this if I can trade in for it. Because, I think both of us would say that a 3DS is a console that we're always going to have. So you might as well have it.
When I don't have it, I'm probably going to let my kids just inherit it.
Right.
So, because one, it can take a beating.
Yep.
And it seems like I'll just it's a system I'm just going to keep around for a while.
Yep. Yeah,
there's enough games on it that I want to play, and come back to. So.
Yeah, it's something that I put hundreds of hours into, and it's not a game or a system that I'm getting rid of. So, and I don't usually get rid of Nintendo systems anyways.
It's true.
I just never got sucked into the Xbox ecosystem. And there weren't any exclusives, man. If you're a person that likes to play single-player games, PS4 is where you should be.
Yeah, and it totally is. And hopefully, the Switch again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Nintendo as time goes on. I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, Zelda's already there.
Right.
We get to what I've been playing and be like, why am I not done?
Oh my god. Yeah, it's got legs, and that means that we're gonna have a ton of good Nintendo games on it, which we did on the Wii U as well. But I know we're gonna see more, which is great.
Yeah,
I can't wait for E3. And at E3, they're probably gonna talk about their mobile stuff as well. Yeah. And there was some mobile news this week.
Talking about new where to expect more games.
And we're probably gonna see a lot of free-to-play games and not the $10 download games.
Nope.
Because you want to take that story for us?
Sure. This comes from Polygon, but Fire Emblem Heroes best Super Mario Run profits despite 10 times fewer downloads.
That's crazy.
Welcome to the free-to-play ecosystem.
Yep.
And I mean, I haven't spent any money on Fire Emblem Heroes. I have actually logged in every day, every 2 days. Logging in, there's new things. Usually get some orbs, play some battles. But man, you can tell that people spend a ton of money in that game.
Because of its presence on the paid app list, or
paid app list, and then just if you do arena battles, seeing like characters and teams people have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't get those teams just by playing through without spending money.
Right.
People are buying orbs. They're pulling, summoning characters a lot.
And you and I have not spent a dime on this game.
Nope.
That's amazing.
I thought about it, and I would spend money if they did a starter, like a one-time bundle thing.
Yeah.
It's like $10 and gave me a bunch of orbs and maybe a character and just something I can be like, here you go. Like, I want to support you, but I don't really find just buying orbs that interesting.
Right. And I find them to be...
They seem expensive.
Yeah, overpriced to me. So I would do the same thing, because I wanted to throw this game money because I really enjoyed it. I played like 20 to 30 hours of it. And it gave me a lot of joy. For free, it kind of makes me want to like reward them a bit. Although I did buy Mario Run, so maybe that's where
there you go.
I subsidized them there. And I'm in this article, I'm happy to see that they're saying even though Mario Run didn't meet expectations, they are going to continue to work on premium mobile games too. Because
I mean, it's worth a shot.
It's good. I mean, I liked Mario Run a lot for what it was. I thought it was worth the money. It has enough replay value for me. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's, for a person who loves Mario and has played almost every Mario game ever made, it is nice to see them do something different and stay conversant in that game.
Yeah.
By playing that, so I liked it a lot. But yeah, 10 times fewer downloads. There must be some big whales out there, man.
There always, if it's a game that's doing well in free to play, yeah, there always is, and that top 1%, 0.5%, they buy so much, for better or worse.
Yeah. So when Animal Crossing comes out, it's going to be free to play then.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And Animal Crossing, it just kind of fits into the mold anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever you're talking like the Mario Run, I just don't see how they would make that game free to play in a good way.
Other than like earning enough coins to unlock a new level, or you can just buy the level. Yeah.
Not in a good way.
Yeah, that's not good. Exactly.
It doesn't really feel as good and smooth. Like Fire Emblem Heroes, like say what you want about free to play, it feels like it fits. Like,
yeah, and it was just
it doesn't feel jarring. You're like, yeah, okay, the free to play stuff is here. It's not really intruding on the rest of the gameplay.
Well, and as a Fire Emblem fan too, like everything you just said is correct from a free to play standpoint, and then coming from a Fire Emblem standpoint, sure there were some compromises, but it was a solid game. I mean, you don't have the relationship building and all that stuff, but it was a nice diversion, something different.
Yeah.
It's kind of like reading like the comic book of like, so for example, like Game of Thrones novels are my favorite novels, but I love reading the comic books too. They're just a different version, a little lighter, but it's, you're still getting your fix basically.
That's true. Just a faster way to tell the story or to get into it. And yeah, the battles in Fire Emblem Heroes are such a good pace.
Yeah,
like
really.
You finish them really fast, but give you enough decisions while doing it. And you're like, yeah, you have to actually make some tactical choices.
And there was a point where I did like the auto battle, like when I was just grinding on the kind of lower levels, like just go.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not worried about this. Go.
Exactly. So for E3, we mentioned a little bit ago that they're not going to hold a press conference again, which they haven't done since I think 13 maybe. So it sounds like they're just going to do their direct stuff, even though they haven't said they're going to do that yet, but I assume they will.
Yeah, they're going to have some presence. I assume similar to, like last year where they just had streams of all the different games being played, probably a direct itself announcing new things, and then Treehouse just doing their thing.
Yep.
I think it works for them. Like, they don't get into the whole thing of like, we're competing with Microsoft and Sony, because they're just so different. They're like, no, we're not doing the big grandstanding. Those two can do their dick measuring contests. We'll just be over here showing you games.
Yeah, I kind of like that, because when people are saying things like, well, I'm not going to pick up the Switch because it doesn't have the power of the other consoles, like, you don't get what they're doing then. Like, it's not about they're not competing anymore. They're doing their own separate thing, and it positions them in a way where if you have a PS4, there's not really a lot of reason to get an Xbox One, or I think, but there's a ton of reason to get a Switch, and it positions them to say, we're the second console, like, pick us up too, we're something different, and they're significantly different, or different enough that makes sense. If you're a PC gamer or a PS4 gamer, like, there's not much overlap with getting a Switch, and I really don't think we're going to see any of those big AAA third-party games on this. Which it doesn't need it. The Nintendo games plus all of the indies that are going to come to it are probably going to be enough for it.
I think so, especially with it selling 2.75 million units in its first month, and then the restock yesterday or 2 days ago for Mario Kart, which was probably worldwide. I would say probably another, I don't know, maybe for the whole month of April they might sell another million.
Yeah, I'm thinking a million too.
Supply constraints on that, but that's not bad.
If it doesn't top NPD, it's only because of supply, not demand, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's already drawing a lot of developers to it, because they showed they are the best single month selling console in history.
Right.
By like 600,000 units.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
there's a demand for there is a demand for this. Big demand.
And rightly so. I can't wait for you to get yours, man. You're gonna really enjoy it, I think.
I know I will.
Especially when you jump in and there are more games. Although there's been enough to play on it, between the indies and the big stuff.
Yeah, I would actually say for people not even interested in indies, now you have Zelda and you have Mario Kart 8. And if you didn't have a Wii U to play Mario Kart on, those two games, there's enough hours in those games to justify the console easily.
Oh, and there's enough hours in those games to play for the rest of the year. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously we put a lot of time into Zelda, but in terms of Mario Kart on the Wii U, it's like 120, 130 hours. Just that game. Wow, that game. Which I'll talk about later. But I'm hoping to God, I know it's not going to happen because this is the definitive edition, but I wish at E3 they would have another DLC pack of tracks. Just make it a platform. But
I don't think they will.
I don't think
they're going to make 8 the platform. No. Maybe whatever's next.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. Speaking of shipping units, PS4 has shipped, as of now, 60 million.
Yeah.
Oof.
And that's rounding up Slims, original Slims, and Pro altogether.
Right. Which makes sense because people like me who bought the original and then 3 years later bought the Pro. So
they're all technically PS4s. They all play the same games. So.
Right, but it's interesting to look at that number and say, oh, the install base is 60 million. It's not really, because I account for 2 of those, and I only have 1 now. So
it's true. They're approaching pretty quickly, though, the PS3, which had 80 million total
over its whole lifetime. Yeah, and this is 60
and that
million.
Was the 360 as well was 80 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in the lifetime, this thing's gonna I think eclipse that.
Yeah, I think it will approach 100.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. It's just games. But what made it click for so many people? Like, is it the people who, obviously the Sony people who love Sony, but then did the 360 people say, I'm going to go to Sony this?
Yeah.
In droves? Crazy.
Yeah, they made the jump. I mean, once you get... So one of the reasons why 360 held on for so long is most people were... Think about COD being the most popular shooter.
Yeah.
People go where their friends are.
Right.
That's 360 in the time. That's where you played those games. That's where their friends were. That's where they played online with their friends. Honestly, a big coup for Sony was getting the the exclusive marketing for that franchise and Destiny.
Yeah, I think Destiny too.
Like that, just getting it with Activision being like, no, we co-market these big shooters, these big community-based games for PS4. So then that starts making people transition to there. And it also didn't hurt that it was $100 cheaper than the Xbox One.
Yeah, and then the marketing or the messaging at that E3 was terrible for Xbox too. So all that stuff, just a perfect storm.
It kind of was. And then they showed a lot of games, and that's what people wanted right then, which just show us good games. And Sony hasn't stopped.
No, yeah, compare this year to Xbox's year. Like Xbox had Halo Wars 2. I can't think of another one. Yeah,
Microsoft doesn't have the development studios that Sony has.
Right.
That's the big thing with it.
Well, and they closed a bunch last year too. So
yeah, they've never had that huge machine just working on making exclusive content.
Well, and all of us are saying, wow, Q1 2017, like maybe the best Q1 ever, and maybe one of the best quarters in a really long time. If you only own an Xbox, you're not part of that conversation because you're not playing any of those games.
No, because they were Sony exclusive for the most part, and Nintendo.
And Nintendo, yeah, exactly. PC players got them some of them as well.
Some of them,
like Nier,
not
they
all.
got.
They got Nier. They didn't get Neo.
Nope.
They didn't get. Well, of course, they didn't get Breath of the Wild.
Right.
They didn't get Horizon.
Oh yeah, so maybe just one that I'm thinking of.
Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, Mass Effect, which
Mass Effect
kind of flopped.
It did flop. I need to. My friend's making his way through it before I get it, and he says, just lower your expectations. Just think of it as Mass Effect fan fiction.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Although he says he's getting a lot more invested in it as he gets through the game.
That's good.
He's enjoying the characters more and more. But he said it's a pretty rough few hours at the beginning where you're just kind of feeling like it looks like Mass Effect, but it doesn't really talk like Mass Effect.
Yeah, and that's kind of my issue. I listened to, like, the Game Informer had their game club this last month on Mass Effect, and a lot of the reviewers that I respect, their main issue is with the campaign story.
Yep.
And that's the whole reason I would play it. So I'm probably going to wait a long time, if ever. Yeah. I mean, I might just play the original 3 again instead. I didn't play the DLC, so if they ever do a collection or something like that. Yeah. So Shadow Broker, never played it.
Oh man, that was a good one.
Citadel, never played it. So yeah, I need to go back.
Yeah.
Which just seems more worth my time than to plod through that game.
Yeah.
So sorry.
But back to your point, I mean, yeah, if you just had an Xbox One for this first quarter, yeah, you missed out on a lot of the really big games.
Yeah, I just feel like you're sitting on the sidelines. Like if your hobby is gaming, you're not.
You're not experiencing a big part of it right at the moment.
Exactly. Ouch. And I think that'll change for the fall with Scorpio, perhaps. But yeah, it's been quiet for them, which sucks.
I said they have to announce some big stuff at E3. Not just more on the Scorpio. They actually need to announce what games are you launching with? Like what's your big push here to tell people
and is that
to buy your fancy hardware?
Right. And is that going to be Crackdown 3? I mean, I don't really know the Crackdown series, so I don't know if that's big enough.
It's not big enough to me.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 was a much better game than 1, but it's not, to me, it's not a system seller right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's well known in, I would say, the hardcore gamer circle, but it doesn't have much brand recognition beyond that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see. E3 is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
For Nintendo and PS4, and interesting to see what Xbox does for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of games, we're playing some games, and I think I know what you're playing, even though it's not in the show tracker here.
I could change that right now.
So why don't you tell us what you're playing?
So, as recorded last week, I played Breath of the Wild and beat it. And then later that day, after we recorded, I went back and continued to play more.
It's hard to get out of its gravitational pull.
It really is. I did the big maze north of
nice. How did you tackle that?
I just ran through the maze.
Okay.
I went left and just made my way through the winding path and then up into the shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be.
So what I did for the shrine is I got in, ran around a little bit, and I just climbed the wall.
I thought about it. I could do that.
Yeah, that's how I did. I climbed up, and then I looked at the map, and I saw where it ended. I was like, okay, I'll fly over there, and then I just dropped right in the shrine, which I missed some things along the way, of course.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. I mean,
there's some chests and things,
treasures and chests. Yeah.
And then after you finished the shrine, did you drop down and fight all the guardians?
Yes.
Oh my god, I dropped down as like
I did not open the chest first though.
Oh, okay.
So I dropped down, saw that chest, and I was like, I'm not opening that right now. And I ran around the room and destroyed all the guardians.
Well, that was smarter.
And then opened the chest.
So I opened the chest and I get 4 beams of the lasers on me all at once. I was like, and I start running around, and it made it a lot more challenging. I didn't die. It was a really fun fight, but I was like, I shouldn't have opened that chest first. Smart dude.
I know a trap when I see it.
You've been playing games long enough to know.
Don't do that. So I mean, I did that, and then what else have I did? And I explored a couple other areas. I was just continuing to explore. I found another 4 shrines, something like that, 5 shrines. Yeah. I went back and I did there was like 3 tests of major strength that I hadn't done.
Oh, okay.
And so I had already been there. I just didn't do them. I warped to them and did all of them.
Did you get armor from them or some sort of?
I did get some armor. I got another piece of climbing gear.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. I have the
chest and I have the head. I got berserk armor.
Oh, what is that?
Which is attack up.
Oh, okay.
I got a chest, berserk armor chest.
Mm-hmm.
That's also one of the things I did. I was just a lot of like cleanup, consolidation of like I went through, and I mean I had like 12,000 rupees, and so I bought all the armors that I ignored.
Oh, okay.
So I bought the stealth armor set, and I bought the guardian set.
Well, from Akala or not?
Yeah,
Akala.
The Akala one. I bought all those, and then upgraded them as far as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I spent probably like an hour and a half just kind of going down a checklist of things that I had just put off doing.
Well, it's so interesting. I think it speaks to how great the game is that after you have beat the game, you are spending that much time upgrading armor, which should be used to beat the game, but you're going to use it to explore the world more.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
And I finished my house completely.
Okay. In Terry.
Like
in Hotno. Yep.
I bought every upgrade in the house.
Mm-hmm. Did you hang up your sword and shield and stuff?
Some swords and shields.
Mm-hmm.
Have you actually done the full upgrade of it? Like bought everything?
I think so. I bought like the flowers outside, the trees, the 3 armor stands.
So the 3 shields.
Maybe I haven't.
Swords,
I don't think
and
I've purchased all those yet. No, I haven't.
If you purchase all of it, you get a final furniture appears inside everything. They do a final pass on it. And
oh, okay.
It looks like a full house.
Oh no, I don't have that then. Okay, I thought I was finished. But I guess
it's very nice.
Cool.
No.
I will have to do
I don't know. Then. This is the thing. Like, I could play other games, but that one just kept pulling me back in. And so that was the main big game I played. I did This was another week of my Star Wars RPG, so I did a bunch with that on Monday and Tuesday. No, D&D Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesday, I spent most of my night prepping for my game on Wednesday. Played my game on Wednesday. And then Thursday, this is Saturday morning now. Thursday and Friday, what did I do? Oh, I played a little bit of Torment. Trying to get myself back into that because I could use just a big, deep narrative RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of started working my way back into that. I'd only gotten like an hour, 2 hours in originally. So just put another hour into it, just kind of exploring the first big city you're at, and there's so many people to talk to and things to do. It's reading a novel, basically.
That sounds, well, probably not up my alley right now, but I like, it almost turns into a visual novel.
In some ways. I mean, there's more gameplay than a visual novel to it, because it's still a ISO RPG, but any of those games, Pillars of Eternity, same thing. that old school ISO RPG where you're going to spend most of that time while you're playing that game reading and making conversation choices.
Right. And as long as the choices are meaningful, that's the thing that sucks me in.
I think they're going to be.
Yeah,
you can kind of tell. Like, there's a lot of ways to approach a lot of situations in the game, and ways to take they're deep conversation trees. Yeah. So, yeah, it should be good. I'll probably have more to report back on that next week.
Right. Before we get into what I'm playing, I've got 2 Steam keys. One I'm giving to you, so you can go ahead and redeem that on Steam. I just sent it over to you on Skype. But for our listeners, here's a Steam key, 542M0HWQQ0MF2EP. I won't tell you what it's for, just have fun. And I won't tell you what yours is for either, man. You'll have to click that in.
I need Steam to actually launch first.
Aha. So while that's launching, I'll tell you what I've been playing. First, it was PS4 Pro tinkering. I loaded up Shadow of Mordor. I loaded up Rocket League. I installed Last of Us. I installed Titanfall 2. And the newer games like Titanfall 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn looked pretty good anyways. There's definitely some improvements in how they look on the Pro, but it's not as noticeable as The Last of Us, and especially Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor looks freaking awesome in 4K. Like, it looks so much better than the original. So it's nice to see like those older games like get a real nice fresh coat of paint, and it kind of made me want to play the game again, but I actually haven't finished the DLC or even started it, so I can do that once I finish The Last of Us. Been playing The Last of Us, probably got another 2 hours in, and there's just this story beat that kind of just like ripped my heart out a little bit, and then the resolution of it was a little bit of a downer. Wasn't as executed as well as I thought it would be, but it was still way better than other people would execute it. It was still really good, but I just expected it to be a little better. But Last of Us is still, like, if it continues at this pace, it would vie with Breath of the Wild for my favorite game of the year, and it didn't come out this year. And it's quickly made Last of Us 2 probably my most anticipated game. Like, it's so good. And there's not been a lot of zombies. There have been some, but the combat's not the thing. I have it on easy because I'm just going through for the story.
Yeah. How would you say that there's less combat than Uncharted's?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if you think about like Uncharted 1, I had to stop because of like how much combat there was in 1. I never beat 1. But even compared to like 4, like there's less combat.
Okay.
There's still combat, and there's things to make it interesting, but the combat is more. It seems more strategic as opposed to like filler. Like the combat in Uncharted just seemed a little bit like filler. So I think they've done.
It's very much just action.
Yeah.
I mean, it's trying to mimic being an action adventure blockbuster movie type thing where you're just mowing down a lot of minions.
Right. And I think they've done a better job of marrying that kind of gameplay with story in Last of Us, and maybe they were saying people are here for the story. It seems to be the thing of the game. But I know people play this game on grounded or like the hardest difficulty, and it makes sense because it kind of simulates like what it would be like if you were in that situation. Like, you take a shot, you're dead. Like, you don't survive this world. But it's phenomenal. I'm gonna beat it and then play the Left Behind DLC and then ship it because I want you to play this game too. Although I want you to play a lot of games. Put Inside to the side and play this one. And last one, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came yesterday. It's my favorite Mario Kart. Is one of my favorite games. My wife and I play all the time. And this new one has new characters, which are fun to play as. New item system, so you can hold 2 at once, and it has a couple new items like the Ghost and the Feather. But battle mode is the thing. Battle mode in the Wii U version was crap. You were just on the same race course and trying to attack each other, and it was not fun. But they've brought back some of the original battle mode tracks and some new ones, and they just funnel you toward each other. And there's like 5 different modes, like either coin racer where you had to get the most coins, or shine thief where you had to hold this crown for the longest time, or hit each other with bombs, or balloon blast.
I just want to play this.
It is so fun. It is so fun. And the online is working great. I'm just using Wi-Fi, and I haven't had a dropped game. I've raced online. I've played battle mode online for hours at this point. Nothing dropped. No communication error. Everything's fine. And I'm surprised because I didn't think the Wi-Fi on this thing was that great. But at the same time, I don't know if it's that demanding, the Mario Kart, what's happening there. So it's just, I love it. I've won a few races, which made me feel good because people online are freaking good. Really good. So, but the battle mode is like, if there was nothing else, if it was just battle mode, this would be worth $60. And battle mode is like the smaller part of this game. It's all about all the other stuff, and it's just, it looks a little better. I think it's 1080 instead of 900 or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried it mobile yet, but my wife and I have just been playing, on TV with our Pro Controller and the dog paddle, whatever, whatever you freaking call that thing. Worth buying it again. It really is. It's phenomenal. And for you, it'd be worth buying the first time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I did just reading that you don't have to unlock stuff.
It's all unlocked. The courses are unlocked. Like all the time trials, like 150, 200. Mirror mode are unlocked, but the parts for the cars are not unlocked. So that you get to unlock, but all the characters are unlocked, which kind of sucks. It kind of be nice if it was locked. But yeah. And then two other new things. It does gas. You can set it to do gas for you, so you don't have to hold the button down, which is kind of nice for like kids who don't know how to push all the buttons, But there's something called smart steering, which basically you can't go off the track. So if someone doesn't know how to play, they can use that to kind of stay competitive with other people who know what they're doing. It's on by default, so you have to turn it off. And once you turn it off it'll remember it. I thought it was weird too, but then I started thinking it's easier for an expert player to pause it and turn it off than for someone who doesn't know what they're doing to turn it on. So it kind of makes sense, but for people who don't know it's on by default, it kind of fucks with your steering. So it doesn't seem as responsive, and that's why. So turn that off. But actually, for 200cc, which is like the super duper duper fast one, I was reading like a Polygon article, and it was like expert. No, it wasn't Polygon. It was on the Nintendo Store. It said expert players, you should try 200cc with it on just to see what happens. And I was like, okay, because 200cc is like super fast, and I usually like run off the track. So that was actually pretty fun. Like it just keeps you on the track, and you're just like zooming. It's so fast. So it kind of makes that fun.
This reminds me of a tweet I saw yesterday that I retweeted. It was a interviewer. We need risk takers at this company. Me. I drift every turn on Rainbow Road. Interviewer. Silence. 200cc.
Oh,
you're hired.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was thinking I do that too, but I usually just play 100cc. Because I play with my wife.
Laugh,
we play all the time, and 100cc is right where she's at, so that's where we play. But that is an awesome tweet on 200cc. Oh, that's rad. Mario Kart is, for a 3-year-old game, has kind of taken the internet by storm in the last couple of days.
Well, I mean, yeah. I feel like whenever you have a lot of goodwill to your console,
yeah, that's true.
You're going to get a lot of people honestly looking at Mario Kart 8 for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, I remember it got a lot of goodwill when it first came out. It's just a lot of people didn't have a Wii U, and a lot of people didn't pick up a Wii U to play it.
Right.
So I am not shocked that a lot of people are coming into it with fresh eyes.
Right.
And are like, wow, this is incredible.
Well, and you have it up there, right? You have my copy.
I do, yeah.
But you haven't even put it in there. You haven't put it in there yet, have you?
That's wild.
That's funny. I had meant to buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe digitally. I was going to cancel my Amazon order, and then I just got subsumed with work, and I totally forgot to go cancel it. So I have the physical now. I kind of wanted only one physical game.
It just came to you.
Well, I bought it.
Well, that's what I mean. You'd forgotten about the physical and everything, and
I did until I got a message on my phone that said your thing is shipped. I was like, shit. I was going to do that digitally because I don't want to take. I just wanted one cart for this generation of Nintendo, and then everything else digital. But yeah.
You're not the only one that sometimes gets those notifications or emails that something is shipped, and you're like, "Whoa,
what did I buy?
What did I buy like 6 months ago that I didn't realize was coming out?"
Exactly. It's like that Fire Emblem Echoes special edition that I bought on Walmart like a month ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever, and I probably gonna forget about it and it show up, and I'm like, "What is? Oh yeah." Maybe I'll sell that and pay for my 2DS XL.
There you go. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Like, thinking of that, I have the next few months are going to be pretty good. I just pre-ordered the Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yeah, Lost Legacy.
That went up for pre-order.
So you're doing the physical version?
Yeah, I typically do physical on those things.
Mm-hmm.
I like having a shelf of PS4 games.
Yeah. Do you get the Jak and Daxter for pre-ordering that?
I don't know.
Or
maybe I didn't. I didn't look at what bonuses there were. I just did it because I get the 20% off.
Yeah.
It's only a $40 game. I didn't realize it was going to be like budget priced.
Yeah. And
I mean, I guess it's just a standalone expansion for the most part.
But. Right. And it became bigger over time for them. But I wonder, let's see here. Oh yeah, you get the $31.99 because of the Prime thing. Oh yeah, pre-order Uncharted Legacy and receive digital copy of Jak and Daxter. Yep.
Oh, okay. I will be getting that then.
So you're getting that. I pre-ordered it digitally, which is fine for me. But I'm looking forward to this game.
I am too. I think it will be really, really cool to see these characters together.
Yep.
And if it does well, I have some hopes that there will be other stories in this world.
Right.
That they don't have to be all Nathan Drake's story.
Exactly.
They've created an interesting world with an interesting characters, so they can have some fun.
Yeah, it definitely gives someone, if it's not Naughty Dog, someone else a kind of in to continue the story. But I'm looking forward to seeing female. I usually like playing as a female protagonist, so it's nice to see that, especially in this world where it hasn't been.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think of anything else I've been playing. Not a whole lot.
Yeah, me neither. Just the ones I was talking about.
Yeah, and reading.
What you reading? Oh, Star Wars stuff.
A thing called Lost Stars.
Okay.
Which I'll get. It's technically young adult, but it's kind of young adult in the same way that I feel like the Hunger Games are young adult.
Oh, okay.
Where you're like, yeah, I guess it is because it's a really fast read. Like, the prose isn't super complicated, but the content doesn't necessarily feel young adult to me.
Yeah, I almost feel like they slapped that on there when like the protagonist is a kid and they're dealing with other kids. But
that's basically what it is. It's two kids growing up in the Empire,
right?
And showing the perspective of like, well, why doesn't everyone hate the Empire? Well, this is the reason why everyone doesn't hate the Empire. Like, just showing a different perspective.
Right.
So it's interesting. It's enthralled me. I got it a couple days ago. So yeah, not a whole lot more going on. You have your baby shower today.
I do. Baby shower today, but my first and only. And you have wedding stuff this weekend.
Yep.
So we both have some exciting life events this weekend. Not your wedding, but it's, friend's wedding.
No.
So thanks for taking time out of your day to record. Looking forward to whatever crazy news comes out the next week and playing more Mario Kart, more Zelda, and Nintendo all the time right now, basically.
Yeah. And everyone should, if you skipped here, there's a code somewhere back in this episode. You should find it.
It's a code for a fun one. Did you plug in the code that I gave
you? I did.
You didn't have
Song
that game,
of the
right?
Deep. Song of the Deep. No, I did not.
Awesome. It's a pretty fun underwater, quote unquote, Metroidvania. Not spectacular, but a good diversion.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Who?
Insomniac.
Yeah, it was Insomniac. Yeah, that's right.
And it was published by Game Trust, which is that GameStop thing, which just did Deformers. Which, if you're a pro member, you got Deformers for free, which was weird. So and fun. That was great. But
okay,
haven't played it yet. I'll let you guys know. Oh, by the way, did you see any media this week about Little Nightmares?
No.
Okay, it's play Inside first, but it looks like Inside, but like horror. Looks just Little Nightmares. Google it. Take a look at a Let's Play. It looks pretty rad.
Oh, never mind. I have. Well, I saw a screenshot of it, and like their dude holding up a light by a door.
Okay.
But I didn't really look into it exactly. Okay. Yeah.
There's just so much to play. I'm not saying like buy it. I'm just saying like take a look at the aesthetic at least.
Oh, yeah, so much. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to play, and you're still on the game that you can't stop playing.
I can't. It's so good.
Well, I was gonna say
it doesn't deserve to be that good.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it does.
Yeah, you're right. It makes sense. Like if I were you, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna save this other stuff I haven't seen for when I have the Switch. So there's something new when I have the Switch. But whatever, you do you, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for recording this week.
All right, thank you.
And thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next week with episode 84, but this has been episode 83. I am at Prof Plays Games, and he is at Summer Speak. And if you have a Switch, I posted my Switch friend code, so hit me up, and we'll play some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. See you later, folks.
All right.